Welcome to the program Power to Unite with Elvira. For the past few months, I'm sure you were all very surprised because we have been featuring different kind of personality already. And now, we are again very blessed because the one whom we are going to interview is really the managing director of the academy, none other than Mr. 𝗨𝗨𝗃𝗏𝗄𝗏. He is the managing director at the same time the executive pastry chef of the Academy of Pastry and Arts. I'm sure our conversation will be of interest to you. Siya po ang antabayan ninyo sa pagbabalik ng Power to Unite with Elvira. Welcome to the program Power to Unite with Elvira, Chef. It was really an honor for us to be able to listen to you, to understand your passion, what inspired you. There are so many things that we like to learn. But first of all, I would like to know, when you were small, is it really, you already noticed that there is something in you that you really love cooking, you really love to do bread or pastry? Where did you get all this skill?
First thing first, thank you very much for inviting me here. It's really an honor. Coming back to your question, I never thought that I'll be a chef or a pastry chef ever. And even today, I believe that I see a lot of people when they speak that they were helping their grandmother or father or family kind of a thing, and then the passion developed. For me, it was very straightforward that I finished my schooling. I was looking for something to do for my future. My family, everybody is electrician. So my father, my brother, everybody works in electricity board, and they expect me to do engineering and get the same job like they do. And I met one of my relatives who was a chef, and he was inviting his family to Canada for a holiday. And I saw this is something really very interesting. You know, this gentleman is very good, must be doing very, very nice, and he's inviting the family to Canada all the way for a holiday. And I tried to find out who is he, and they told me he's a chef, worked for hotels, worked in India and working abroad. And I say, this is what I want to be. So my starting to choose to be a chef was in a very different note. But when I studied my college, I did my pastry and culinary, and I went start working for the hotels. This is where the passion started, because all the time we always think that chefs are behind the kitchen, nobody watch them, they're not so educated, or they do things what they like to do. But I saw a different world where chefs were equally educated, smart people, they exactly know what they're doing, and that level of professionalism what motivated me to say, yes, this is what I want to do. So it was a very professional decision. I went to college, I did my diploma in food production, and my family was still not very, very clear that, are you sure this is what you want to do? So why don't you just go for 1 year? And I finished my 1 year program, and they say, so what's your decision? You want to be an electrician or you want to be a chef? I say, I want to be a chef. And they told me, why don't you at least complete a degree? So I finishes my degree in hotel management, but after finishing my degree, I still start working in the kitchen and start from the junior most position. I believe the kitchen fascinates me, the hotel fascinates me, and the entire culture of thousands of people working together in the kitchen or in the front office or in the service, working together to make some people happy, the guests who are staying in the hotel. And how they work together towards one common goal was really which always motivated me. So hotel was something I really, really enjoyed. From day one, and I worked in hotel for about 17 years, but from day one till the day I left my hotels to be part of academy, I thoroughly enjoyed my hotel life being a chef.
How many years did you work in the hotel?
About 17 years.
17
years.
Is it based in Malaysia or based in Canada?
No. I started my hotel management from India. I'm from a middle class family in New Delhi, the capital of India. And I did my hotel management from India. And I started my career with one of the finest hotel group I know is 𝗨𝗶𝘶𝗵 Hotels. And they were opening a small resort, about 70-room resort. But I really know that they got application of about more than 10,000 people and only 100 were selected. And I was the fortunate one to open that hotel with them. So I saw the hotel from scratch to the final finished one. So my first 4 jobs were only opening the hotels. I worked for a Japanese company, Nikko Hotels. I worked for 𝗨h Group of Hotels.
So it's because I'm sure each management is very different.
Very
right?
different.
And I think that is very educational on your part. You learn a lot, you know.
It's very tricky because my first hotel was like, we were opening the hotel, it was like a group of about 100 people working together. And it's a very open culture where respectfully, we know each and every employee of the hotel. So that means even I know the gardener of my hotel, the person who's the cleaner, we know everybody.
So it's
everybody
like a
was
family.
same. It's like a small family. So from that hotel, when I went to a bigger hotel, which is a downtown hotel, about 500-room property, I was a little bit confused because the kitchens are huge and where everybody is very busy in their own departments, and I am just working in my kitchen and nothing else. So for a couple of months, it was so difficult for me to adjust because we were so much pampered in my first job, and in the second job was totally different. But that was exactly hotel life is all about. So that's the thing. Third hotel was a resort where it's a seasonal part, but different kind of families, different kind of guests do come in. But the breakfast is very, very heavy, lunch is not so busy, dinner is again busy. So all these hotels, all these new jobs and different properties actually help you to think more and more. You have to adjust yourself, but it's a good learning.
You mentioned you were from India, right? Are you from Bombay, Calcutta?
I'm from New Delhi.
New Delhi. And you come from a big family.
I come from a very humble middle-class family.
So how many brothers, sisters you have?
We are 2 brothers and 2 sisters, so I'm the youngest one. And in 70s, let's say example, when I was born, the family was not, you can say, not doing so well. So my brothers and sisters were not given, you can say, the best of education. But by the time I was born, the family was doing a little bit much better. And since I was the youngest one, the family thought, okay, why don't we concentrate on him now? And I went to good schools and I got good colleges.
You said you come from a family of electricians. So your parents, your brother expected you to follow the footsteps, but you choose different, scenario because you were inspired by your uncle working in Canada. And that, for me, is because of your curiosity, right? You want
That was purely curiosity. I was just trying to do something different. Or maybe I was just trying to make them a little bit more happy or more proud in the future. And that made me feel that why don't I choose this line. In fact, everybody tells me, listen, it's totally something new. And I'm sure in early 90s, nobody feel that chef could be a career. And they say, you want to be a cook. This is something very different. But I was, and I'm not saying that I was very visionary at that time, that I could understand which direction I'm going, but I find it very, very attractive. Hotels, you always, because I never been to a 5-star hotel in my entire life before I actually go for my hotel management.
The skill, the talent, the dedication that you have must be because deep inside, you want to make a difference.
Maybe more than me, it was because of the kind of people I was working with.
They
inspired me a lot. I saw chefs who were extremely smart, purely very smart in the white jackets. They talk sensibly, good communication skills, because it's a guest-oriented industry. And I find that the level of education, because every time we feel the food is like, it's very easy to make. But we always forget the kind of science which is involved in a food. Even if you take a small egg and you try to fry it or boil it, there's a lot of science involved into that part. So these people are very educated, and this time is changing. So I see a very bright side of a chef's life, which was very fascinating and motivating. And I would say that I was very fortunate to work with some very good chefs who really take good care of me and in the initial part of my career. And that's why I was always very, very motivated. I never feel any time that I took a wrong decision. I was always happy, always very motivated, even though we used to work long hours. I think I believe for first 10 years of my career, I think 12 to 14 hours was very, very easy. I never did 9 or 10 hour shift. It was only 12 to 14 hours. But end of the day, when we finish the shift and we come back home, we were always very tired, but very satisfied.
Yeah, very fulfilled.
Very fulfilled,
because,
in fact.
Because you achieve,
Yeah, because
it's your creation.
I remember for a couple of weeks, I never used to see sun, because you start in the morning when before the sun comes out. You reach home when it's already night, and when it's your off day, you want to sleep, so you sleep full day, and you only get up in the evening, and then you go out to market to buy something out. But I think it was really very interesting.
𝗏𝗏 is now at Radio Bandido, an informative program that tackles all issues concerning all walks of life, delivering hottest issues and events, with health consultations on air and a lot more, with your host veteran newsman 𝗣ποι𝘄𝗶𝘁𝗲 and master entrepreneur 𝗨𝗶𝘄𝗲. 𝗏𝗏 sa Radio Bandido every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. You can catch 𝗏𝗏 on DZRJ 8:10 a.m., Radio Bandido TV channel 224, TV Plus boxes, and streaming live on Facebook/DZRJ 8:10 a.m. and YouTube channel DZRJ 8:10 a.m. Radio Bandido.
When we talk about chef, I find it very strange that you go toward pastry and not towards cooking, when it's the crazy trend right now. Everywhere you go, people wants to be a cook, and they just put different tastes, and it seems that as long as you learn by watching your parents or your relatives do the cooking, it's very easy to learn. But with pastry, I found out it's not that easy. It's not something you just cook, you just put every ingredient, that's it. But here, with cakes, with bread, it's quite different, right? I think it's more challenging.
I'll tell you a small story which is very interesting. I actually applied for my first job as a butcher. And they asked me a first question, how many chicken you can trim in 1 hour? And I have no idea. I say, maybe about 70 to 80. And the chef, I'm sure he knows what I'm talking about. He says, that's a pretty good speed, but you know what? I don't have a position in butchery. Would you like to try pastry? I say, okay, I'll try pastry if there is no position, because in India, the first thing is that you should get a job. And they say, would you like to go for a food trial? That means I have to come to the hotel, I have to make some food, and if they like my food, then we'll take it forward. So my first interview was a personal interview, which shifted me from butchery to pastry. And I went to the hotel, I make some product, and the chef came in. I think I still remember there were 2 chefs who were tasting my food, and they asked me a few questions, and they say, okay, thank you, 𝗍𝗏𝗃. I'm so sorry, but this is not what we're looking at. So I was rejected for my job. And I was about to move, and I step back and I say, can I ask you a question? He said, yes, please. And I say, can you tell me what mistake, why you didn't choose me? What mistake did I did? Say, why do you want to know about it? I said, because you rejected me already. If I know what mistake I've done in this time, I won't be repeating those mistakes in my next interview. And they told me, okay, there's no salt in this bread, there is too much of sugar, this is very heavy. And they gave me some feedback, and I came back home. 2 days later, I was sleeping in my house, and I got a call from the hotel and said, 𝗍𝗏𝗃, we want you to come back to the hotel for one more round. I was surprised and I went back. So this was my final round of interview, which I didn't know why I was called back. And I saw a group of 7 gentlemen sitting in front of me, and I talked to them. And one of them, I really don't know who they are. I just know that they are going to give me a job. And one of the gentlemen asked me, "नीलेश, do you know that why you are back here? I believe you are already rejected. Your food trial was not good." I said, "Yes, but I don't know why I'm back." And they told me that out of all the rejected people, you're the only one who stay back and ask them what mistake you have done, and maybe in the next interview you will not repeat those mistakes. That's the only reason you are back for the final interview. And I got the job. So I know that you don't have to be, perfect in all the time. It's just taking one step back, understand what can be done, which is more important than doing it correct all the time. You can't be correct all the time. And being a chef is the first thing. If you don't know the mistakes, if you don't know what can go wrong, you cannot rectify. So that's the first rule in the kitchen, that it will never happen your food will always be good. It will never happen your food will always be correct. It's a pure science. These are flavors. Something match, something doesn't match. Sometimes you try to do things which other people doesn't like, but because of your conviction you try to do that, and people start liking it. So it's very easy.
You are really willing to change, to improve yourself. And I think that's why they gave you the chance, because they saw potential in you. Because if you don't care, you are only after the money, just only to have a job, I don't think they will call you.
I believe because I got the job because of the question I asked, it was the first thing I learned, that never feel ashamed of asking. Okay? Because I know that whatever you do, people do watch you. When you do something wrong, they watch you. I was rejected. I did something wrong, I was rejected. I did something right, they still keep that in mind. And I believe because of that first part, all the way, even if it's been 25 years now, it's been 26 years actually now, I'm in the industry, and I feel that those few things still help me out. I still feel like taking chances. I don't feel scared anymore. I don't feel shy that it may go wrong. I say, let's try it out. It doesn't work out perfectly fine, but let's try it out. So I think by the time it comes in, it was a good decision. And it happened with me, I think, in 2006. All this while, it was about maybe 12 years I already spent in the industry, and I was already exact pastry chef, which is the department head of my pastry department. I was going to Singapore to see an exhibition. And after 12 years in the industry, you feel that, and you are already the department head, you are saying, oh, you are very good. In Singapore, when I go there and I saw it's a food exhibition, the kind of food I saw, the kind of creativity I saw, I say, there's something wrong with me. Even though I've become a department head, even though I'm getting a fantastic salary, I'm the very few best pastry chefs in the country, but I'm not good enough. Because the kind of work I saw in Singapore at that time, in 2006, I say, I still have to learn. So I came back from Singapore because I just went for a week. And I start planning my trainings. I looked for some schools in Europe, I looked for some schools in US, some pastry forums, some training centers, and I went to my general manager and my exec chef, my boss. I said, listen, I want to go for a holiday. And they said, what do you want to do? I said, I want to go for training.
Yeah.
And they were surprised. I said, नीलेश, you're such a motivation to all your team members, everything is going good. What kind of training are you looking for? I say, for you, maybe I'm one of the best, but now I know that I'm not the best. No, I'm not best. And I say, I have find out some good chefs, some good schools, some good forums where I want to go and learn. And it was expensive. At that time, to apply for a visa for US, it's not easy to get.
Yes.
To travel, it's expensive. So I took money from my family, I took money from my friends, and I got kind of a thing. And the hotel was so much supportive at the time. They say, okay, if you are taking so much of chance, okay, we will help you to take some money from our side, and when you come back with the training, you stay for some time and you try to share it.
Thank you, Chef Necklace, for the very, very interesting story that you shared with us. And we will continue our beautiful conversation sa pagbabalik po ng Power to Unite with Elvira.
𝗨𝗄𝗲𝗵 Baby is a news-oriented program that tackles topical issues and headlines with the support of DZRJ field reporters. Hosted by the legendary Jimmy Morato, Monday to Friday from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Radio Bandido TV, Channel 224 Sky Cable, TV Plus boxes, digital free-to-air Channel 29, DZRJ 810 AM, Facebook.com/DZRJ 810 AM, and on YouTube, Channel DZRJ 810 AM, Radio Bandido. Fierce, fast, and on the go. Reporters Hour, hosted by Errol Dacame. Meet the fearless reporters of Teleradio Bandido TV, Celestino Jojo Sicat, Vance Fernandez, Jong Manapas, Jimmy Mahusay, Felix Tambongco, and Romel Madrigal. During a crisis, you need timely and up-to-date reports on Radio Bandido TV daily, plus on Reporters Hour on Channel 224 Sky Cable, TV Plus boxes, digital free-to-air Channel 29, DZRJ 810 AM, Facebook.com/DZRJ 810 AM, and on YouTube, Channel DZRJ 810 AM, Radio Bandido.
I'm really very, very interested to learn, what, you have been undergoing, I think because you are very young at that time, and you must be very aggressive, because you dare to face challenge. That's what I saw by the way you talk,
I'll try to answer in a different way, this way. I went to US for my training. And at the time, internet was there, but not so strong like today. But there used to come some magazines, some books, and I used to some of the chefs, star chefs, Yvonne Notter, Stephen Glacier, and these were the heroes of the pastry world. And I was training under them, only for 5 days training. So it's a forum in Nashville, Cincinnati, and I saw these beautiful chefs right in front of me. But what I understand, that they are very humble, very soft-spoken. They exactly know what they're talking about. I have seen chefs working in hotels, which motivate me, and I'm on a different level now. Now I'm seeing MOFs, or I'm seeing world pastry champions or chocolatiers. And when I start talking to them, because I was attending their classes, I feel that these people are a totally different level. They are not like us. They are so much deeply educated and understand the skills level. These are the one who develop the techniques, develop the recipes. So what we do in hotel is we are following recipes every day. Every day do the same thing. And that actually changed my way of thinking, because that was the first time I was getting a professional training, and I understood that we are two different kind of chefs. Even though we are same, but one chefs who work in hotels or pastry shops or this thing out, or second category chefs are the one who train, who teach, who develop recipes, who develop techniques, and then share to the world. So that exposure in US at that time, and some of the schools in Europe, actually changed my way of thinking about pastry, bakery, and chefs.
Okay.
I was totally you can say enlightened by the training and exposure, that I realized that I'm maybe a good chef working in a hotel, but there is a different world where people are far more better, far more traveled, far more skilled, and if I have to develop my career at a different level, then I have to change my way of thinking. After coming back from From my US trip, within 3 months I got a job in Malaysia. It was a 1,000-room property, Renaissance Kuala Lumpur, about 900 plus room property. And it was a big team of about 32 pastry chefs working with me, and I overtook the position of as an exact pastry chef. And it really helped me out, what the things I was learning. But when I was thinking that what is my next course, what will I do in next 3 years or 5 years or 10 years, the only thing came to mind is that I don't want to work in hotels anymore, because it's been already 17 years. I enjoyed my hotel life perfectly good, but I want to do something different. I want to enter training. The exposure which I got, okay, it has to be shared. The kind of experience I felt that after 12 years of my working in hotels, if I feel that I'm not good enough, then I have to work out a structure where what I missed in my first 12 years, I have to look out a structure where I can give it back to the young chefs who want to become chefs in a proper way.
We will continue our beautiful conversation. I hope we could have another part, part 2 of our beautiful conversation. Itutuloy po namin sa susunod na linggo yung aming magandang pag-uusap. Kaya abangan po ninyo ang part 2 together with Chef 𝗨𝗶𝘄𝗲, kasi po napakaganda ng buhay niya. I'm sure na i-inspired na po kayo. Kung ano pong pag-uusapan namin, siya pong subaybayan ninyo sa susunod na linggo dito po sa programa ng Power to Unite with Elvira.
Retrato Philippines, hosted by Mike Francisco, showcases a variety of wonderful, uplifting beauty queens from all over the world, Philippine tourism, culture, and lifestyle, and issues being faced in our country. Catch them Monday to Friday on Radio Bandido TV, Channel 224 Sky Cable, TV Plus boxes, digital free-to-air Channel 29, Facebook.com/DZRJ 8:10 a.m. and YouTube channel DZRJ 8:10 a.m. Radio Bandido. Join Arnel Doria as he explores the world of travel, transportation, road safety, and the environment. Tune in to Good Trip every Saturday at 1 to 2 p.m. on Radio Bandido TV, Channel 224 Sky Cable, TV Plus boxes, digital free-to-air Channel 29, Facebook.com/DZRJ 8:10 a.m. and YouTube channel DZRJ 8:10 a.m. Radio Bandido.
Welcome back to the program Power to Unite with Elvira. Ito na po ang part 2 ng ating magandang conversation with Chef 𝗨𝗶𝘄𝗲. Siya po Managing Director, Executive Pastry Chef ng Academy of Pastry and Arts. For this episode, what are we going to talk about is what you have to really wait, because I'm sure he has more interesting life story to share with us, the ups and downs of a pastry chef. But at the end of the day, he is always the winner. So this is Chef 𝗨𝗨𝗃𝗏. Siya po ang antabayadilyo sa pagbabalik po ng Power to Unite with Elvira. Chef, thank you so much for agreeing to do another interview, because I think if you just listen to part 1, it's not enough. We still need to learn from you. And your sharing can inspire a lot of young people right now. You have been in the hotels, doing 17 years of work with them, and you realize suddenly that, you know, you might be somebody important in the hotel, but it's always the same thing, the same kind of things you do. So as a person, it's not that challenging at all. So when you go to Singapore, then you realize, when you saw the exposure there, you realize that you want to improve more yourself. So that's why you said you want to have another training. So from there, maybe you can share some more. What did you learn from them? And then when you go back after the training, so you have another inspiration in your mind, right?
There are two things. One is a job and one is career. I think most of the times we get confused with the job and career. We think our job is a career, which is not necessarily true. A job is something what you do and you get paid, and you do the same job every time, and there is no, there may be motivation, there may not be. I'm not saying like that. When I was opening Academy of Pastry Arts, I was very clear that if I hire chefs from anywhere, be from Malaysia or any part of the world, it's a school. People have a mindset, it's a college, it's a school, you know. Old thoughts are always there. And these people will be just maybe after 1 year, maybe after 2 years, they will leave the job. I was looking for a culture, the best people from different part of the world could actually come to the school. So these teachers also, they don't take it as a job, but they take it as a career. So when we started the school, along with that, we start inviting world pastry champions, the best chocolatiers of the world, French pastry chefs, people who are really very artistic in pastry department. So idea was that they will be coming, and at that time the teachers of the school will also attend those classes. After that, when they go back, the teacher will practice and they will be further sharing it to the students. I believe that was the second best thing which I decided at the time. And it started in 2010, the very first year of the school, and today even the same thing is happening. We started one chef in every quarter, maybe 3-4 chefs a year. But from 2010, with those 3-4 chefs today, every year we invite about 30 chefs in a year. We try to sell those classes to industry people, people from hotels, people who own pastry shop, people who are chocolatiers, who are like me, want to upgrade their skills, try to cover some cost because it's a new school, and of course money really is important. The idea was that our chefs, the team of chefs, we are young people, we are totally unknown people. When I opened the school, I was just 2 years in Malaysia. I didn't even know how Malaysia looks like. I was just working in my hotel and going back home all the day. So when we opened the school, the idea was that it has to be one of the finest pastry platform where we teach the students, but we learn from the best. So we try to make Malaysia as a pastry hub. I was running Academy of Pastry Arts from 2010 to 2015, and then we saw that everybody's appreciating our efforts. Pastry chefs from all, so many countries are coming and learning from us. And I thought, why don't we take it to other countries? And being an Indian, we say, okay, we'll open India. And then I thought, Philippines was one country I always wanted to come, because I feel Filipinos are so much hardworking. And I see them working in Maldives, I see them working in Middle East, I see them working in Hong Kong. And I know that there is no good pastry school in Philippines, and in fact in India also. So 2015 we opened Philippines and New Delhi in India, because by the time I was always, and I think a school is not a business. I have actually already overcome that kind of a thing, that I'm running a business. Anyone who asks me, how's your business going on? I find that question very awkward, because school was not a business. All the chefs who are working with me, and even myself, we were unknown people working in the backside of kitchen. And suddenly we start getting attention from people from outside who start appreciating. So we understand that part. We realize that I see a school as a country. So a school in Malaysia is like, it can help so many people in Malaysia. A school in India, in New Delhi, will help so many people in India. Or a school in Philippines will have all those people who want to become pastry chef or chefs in Philippines. It's like that. So I start looking each school as a country. India was a bigger country, so we know that part. Okay, one school may not be enough, so we open in North, south and western part. So west is Bombay, south is Bangalore, north is New Delhi, and we will be opening coming this year in Calcutta, which is the east, covering up different states. If you look at this entire dynamics of schools, we try to reach out to different country and try to help the younger generation of the country, or pastry enthusiasts, or business owners who want to grow up. So I believe that a school in Philippines, let's say example, will be helping everybody. Today we have students, 95% of our students are actually graduate in some stream, which is different than Malaysia, where 90% students are directly from school. They come to study with us and go for a job. Whereas in India and Philippines, because of our family values or other way, parents want their kids to say, hey, listen, why don't you at least be a graduate? So I find a lot of similarity between India and Philippines, because 95% of the students in both India and Philippines are graduate. Surprisingly, I see these students graduating from hotel management college. I see them graduate from some culinary college. Some are doing multimedia, some are doing business management, some are doing nursing. And the same thing I saw in India also, that some are MBA, some are marketing executive, and they're leaving their jobs and doing a career change. I want to also try to say, okay, you're doing something right now, and suddenly you feel that this is not what you wanted to do. Most of the hotel management college in India and Philippines, and even in Malaysia also, these are long time programs. They offer long programs. But I feel that they are more than professional college, they are academic colleges. Okay, where more than kitchen, they try to spend time on learning subject which are related to pastry or culinary, but not directly in this part. Our idea was very clear, okay, for a younger generation to work it out, a straightforward learning, so that in 9-10 months time, they exactly can learn what is being practiced in the industry. It should not happen that the industry which is growing every year with a pace, and what you're learning in colleges there's a huge gap. This was the entire idea of opening Academy of Pastry Arts. Be it Malaysia, be it Philippines or India or Indonesia, the idea was that we want to cover up this gap between the students who are graduating and the industry. We want to ensure a kind of culture, a kind of skill level where the students can easily be skilled as per industry and easily go for their first job or a career.
Good News Pilipinas with host Francis de Guzman is advocacy in action, which brings to you exclusives to enhance life's values that really matter. This program also brings forth guideposts on scriptural truths, giving hope to nations. Watch and listen on Radio Bandito TV every Sunday from 12 noon to 1 p.m. on Channel 224 Sky Cable, TV Plus boxes, digital free-to-air Channel 29, DZRJ 8:10 a.m., Facebook.com/DZRJ 8:10 a.m., and YouTube channel DZRJ 8:10 a.m. Radio Bandido.
Mentioned, you invited Master Chef, which is helped a lot. When I was there, I feel so happy and proud that even though I am not really a cook or a chef, but the fact that they pay attention and trying hard to teach you, it encourages you to become, to learn more, that you have to be more interested, There are so many schools doing the same thing, but what makes the academy so different is because of these people.
Whenever we get a student who come to enroll in the school, we tell them very clearly, it's a purely school or institute. If you're looking for a college, university, big campus, and all those kind of a thing, this is not the place for you. This place is only famous for our program, our chefs, the professional culture in the academy. I believe the 9-month program what we are offering right now in the academy, be it India, Malaysia, Philippines. I'll talk to you about Malaysia first. I'm right now in Philippines. The 9-month program, what a student learn, is equally good studying in any other college in US or Europe or Australia. In fact, the students of Philippines have given a unique advantage. We says you finish 9-month program and we invite you free of cost. The training is free to Malaysia for 1 month extra training. So you learn the best of Philippines and you learn best of Asia in Malaysia. And I believe in the 10-month learning, not because it's my school and that's the reason I'm saying it, but I seriously believe that after 10 months, the skill, the level of exposure a student is getting is actually the best in the world.
Yes, I agree.
And I certainly believe in that part. And today, after we have 6-7 schools now, it doesn't matter that how many number of schools you open. The main thing is that every individual school should be able to serve the country, should be able to train the people of the country in the best possible way.
Those who studied in your academy, whether it's Indonesian, Malaysian, Singaporean, in the future, or Indian, you leave behind a legacy that will make them feel so proud that I learned it from the academy because this is, with the heart.
I believe each academy is a blessing for a country because that kind of passion, energy, each academy is delivering to the students is amazing.
Yes.
I believe that even if you have about 70-80 students graduating from academy in, let's say example, in Philippines, you can be rest assured that those 60-70 students who are graduating are the best graduate of Philippines of that year.
Of the country, yeah.
In the country. Those 60-70 students every year, when they go to hotels, they don't go as a baggage or as a burden, but go as an asset to the company. When they go out of country, let's say example, in Middle East or Maldives, because I have some students who are working abroad also, they are really very confident and I see them doing extremely well in the hotel. So I believe that this academy, the culture, the structure of this one is really going to help Philippines a lot.
Now that you are opening up, do you see a lot of challenges or hindrance or problems that you might encounter?
There will always be a problem or some kind of hindrance. I'm not denying that part. And I'm sure each country have their own challenge in a way. India, let's say example, we have a population of 1.4 billion. Mm-hmm. So now it's a huge population, so there are always a number of students are there. In a country like Philippines, where the population is, let's say example, 100 million, the only thing is that it's a state of mind of the parents where they feel that a longer version of education is more better than these professional training. Mm-hmm. I think that's a main challenge we face in Philippines. We do not understand that in today's time, with a good skill or education and skill have to be hand in hand. Education which does not give you a skill is basically you're having a greater number of unemployed people, educated unemployed because they don't have a skill. End of the day, the employment will keep on going. But a skill-based program, a professional-based program will always give them an opportunity to get a job, to do something of their own, and then furthermore, if they want to do something else, they are able to give jobs to more people.
Yes.
So I personally believe, and as a matter of being a chef, is you can't be a chef by sitting in a classroom. It's very simple. You have to be in a kitchen. Mm-hmm. You have to be in a range. You have to be in a working table to learn it out.
Yes.
You can't sit in a classroom and say, I'm becoming a chef. Mm-hmm. There is nothing like chef management. Mm-hmm. Because when you go to hotel, everybody in the kitchen expects you to work. When the hotel feel that you are able to take a next level of responsibility in terms of promotions or whatever, that's the time hotel actually give you further training in terms of managerial skill or supervisory skill or behavioral skill. They actually develop you. So there's something I don't understand which is called as kitchen management or or those kind of a thing. I believe if you want to be a chef, all you have to do is that either work in a kitchen or go to a technical school.
If you want to become a good pastry chef, world pastry chef, you have to learn the culture of each country. And I think this is where you are exposing us in a very different way. It's not just only books that we read, as you said, not in the classroom, but you expose us with interaction with your fellow chef, with your fellow student who comes from different country.
You know, when I talk to my students, the first thing I ask them is that, do you know the world map? And I actually start with the world map, okay? And I try to them which country is where, what kind of climate each country have, and based on those climatic conditions, what grows in a country.
Yes.
You can't have a French pastry in Philippines or any other country because the dairy is different, the fruits are different, okay? Because of the import and export, you can get all those things available in a country, but still, I'm sure there is still a lot of things which it's very difficult or very expensive to import in Philippines or any other country for the matter of fact. So we always try to explain to the students to understand the food and the ingredient, and based on that, make them work it out.
I think I agree with you with that, but we will continue our conversation sa pagbabalik po ng Power to Unite with Elvira.
Pagputok ng umaga, mga kagaganap na balita, iraratrat na! Kasabay sa inyong almusal, mga impormasyong ilalatad na Radyo Bandido Balita sa telebisyon, radyo at online media. Mga isyong pambayan, malalaman nyo na. Radyo Bandido Balita. Radyo Bandido Balita. Kasama sina Felix Tambongko at Jimmy Mahusay at ang mga veteranong tagapag-ulat ng himpilan. Radyo Bandido Balita. Radyo Bandido Balita.
Be enlightened with inspiring stories. Interesting biblical features. And insightful interviews with the pillars of our Catholic faith. Power to Unite with Elvira.
Happy to learn, from you, from our beautiful conversation, that really you trust the Filipino people, you trust the Asian people, especially India, Indonesia, and Malaysia, and soon to open Singapore, and you believe that all of us have something in common, but all of us also have something different. And maybe because as what I have seen, I attended maybe twice the academy, although very short, I noticed it's really quality, and that it's really telling you what you should know and what you should not know, and then from there you are developing future, and better young people now who can really make use of the ingredient that they have in their country. Because you remember, you mentioned, that opening academy is a country, and I think that's your mission, where you said that you really want the academy to be the forefront of introducing, the talent from your own country. And I think that's a beautiful legacy you are doing, And I really appreciate that, because you are helping the future chef in the Philippines without them knowing it, So maybe would you like to share a message or anything you want to share?
I'm a pastry chef. This is what I do and this is what I know. My first thing is that if you want to be a pastry chef, go for a proper school. learn it perfectly fine. It's a beautiful industry, lots of scopes. You can work in hotels, you can work in restaurants, you can work in pastry shops, you can start up your own small chocolate production, you can have your own production, your wedding cake studios. I mean, opportunities are amazing. All what I'm saying that look at a longer term, study good, study properly, practice, looking at as your country. I don't feel that there's a problem in determination or hard work. You people are amazingly good, very, very skilled. Okay, all over Asia and Middle East, everybody knows that you have a lot of strength in terms of your education system, in terms of your language part kind of a thing. Only thing is that have a good skill and develop it. Don't look for a smaller version kind of a thing. Study good, work hard, learn properly, and I'm sure the future is very, very bright for Philippines.
And Chef, I have to congratulate your team because the few days ago, I read somewhere that your team from Malaysia who participated in Lyon, the chocolaterie,
Yes.
Expo, World Expo, won after, how many years,
After 8 years.
Yeah, 8 years. This is an achievement. This is why you motivate, you inspired, people who really attend the academy. Actually, sa totoo lang po, makikita ninyo, napakaganda ng training academy. If you are very interested, you go to Makati, you can really look at the YouTube and internet, andun po yung address nila. And I'm very happy to, listen to him the part 1 and part 2 because one thing that I learned is that never be, we should not be afraid of being rejected. Rather, rejection should be a chance for us to become a better person. We have to face it, challenge it, accept it. At the same time, we should also put into our minds, that it's very important for you not to look for a job, but rather make it as a career and that you have to share it. It's better to share what you learn and then to teach because I think there should be a fulfillment. He has so much fulfillment because of his humility. And I think this is very important that whatever you become one day, always remember that you have to be humble and you have to be always simple. What is important is that you have to have passion, you have to be dedicated, you have to be motivated. I hope you really enjoy our inspiring conversation with Chef 𝗶𝗄𝗏, at the same time the managing editor and the executive pastry chef of the Academy of Pastry and Arts, And what is important right now, while we're really talking about, is to learn that we are so blessed that we have one academy that is open here for a few years already. And the training that they give us, the exposure, the skill you will get, is really an asset that you should never forget because this is very rare. It's really a treasure. And then you don't have to go out to go and train other countries because here, they invited master chef also to give special training. It's just only a matter of giving yourself a chance, not to be scared, have the courage to face all whatever you will learn because you will be an asset to our country. We will create more jobs without your knowing it. Maybe in a few months, chef will tell me he will open one in Cebu, he will open one in Davao, who knows? So he needs all our support. And I have to congratulate him because of his patience with us, of his trust. He really trusts the Filipino people. He really believes in us because he said, always sharing with us that we are very hardworking. So it's about time we prove to him he is right. So I hope you enjoy, our inspiring conversation with Chef 𝗶𝗄𝗏. Hanggang sa muli dito po sa programa ng Power to Unite with Elvira.